Hello everyone and welcome to the RDL show. It's week 2 of the Regal Draft League and the potential top teams have the opportunity to separate themselves from the pack. While a couple of teams that suffered shock defeats in week 1 have the opportunity to bounce back and remind us why they were considered threats pre-season. The Dogis and Latios dished out the punishment in week 1 and have the chance to continue that in week 2 versus the Brelooms and Woobats respectively. Brelooms have a really unfortunate start to the season, as the victims of the Latios week 1 and now facing down the Dogis in week 2. Can Starscream bounce back and remind us of the threat that his squad posed to the league? The Piss and the Dirge both put in impressive performances week 1 and will be looking to build further momentum with victories in week 2. The Dirge have the harder of the two, facing down the Articunos, who had the unfortunate honour of welcoming the Dogis to the league. Before we get into the battles, let's take a look at the trades that took effect for this week's matches. The Dogis were not satisfied with the impressive display in week 1, and so traded away Landorus Therian and Rotom Fan to acquire Enamorous Therian and Overquill. Coach C and the Archeops responded to the week 1 Eevee sweep by blowing all of their trades in one go, dropping Noivern, Quagsire, Rigorath, Toxicroak and Clodsire to acquire Samurott Hisui, Dragonite, Electrode Hisui and Wugtrio. Wheeze reinforced the Appleton's Dondozo core by trading Colossal, Tornadus, Dugtrio, Zoroark, Avalugg Hisui and Glamora. The Piss acquired an additional threat by trading Revroom and Flareon or Inteleon. Nothing too shocking in the trade department, to be honest. The Dogis acquiring Enamorous gives them a fantastic Trick Room option that has to be respected, and they added a Swift Swimmer that can also be an Intimidator, making that Rain Core even more difficult to prep for. The Archeops added another real weapon in Dragonite, but it's also another real fairy weakness that's even further exaggerated by adding Hisui and Samurott. This week we have 2.6 matches for you, since once again Tommy failed at the seemingly simple task of pressing a goddamn button and didn't get a recording for most of Articunos game 1. But what can we do in the face of such piss poor performance? I have crayoned out instructions that even his slug brain can understand, so hopefully going forward we have some replays from him. Let's start the roundup with the non-replay games. Prismatic Ice Shards versus Archeops. Will Coach C's transfers help them get some momentum? How will Weens handle the Double Dragon offense? This is a really hard match to preview, since on paper Dragapult plus Dragonite looks great, but Ice Beam Inteleon and or Terra Fairy King Gambit can just completely shut that down. In reality, the dynamic duo of Terra Fairy Safety Goggles King Gambit and Aqua Tauros ran wild over the prehistoric birds. Skeledirge did get the Archeops' first kill of the season, which will hopefully give them some momentum going into week 3. 3 kills for Gambit, putting it at 9 kills to only 1 death for the season. Tauros overshadowed it with 4 kills and 2 deaths this week, with one of those kills actually being to its own Wave Crash recoil. And the final kill was from a rogue Iron Thorns. How did that thing get a kill? Philadelphia Politoads versus Albuquerque Appletons. Two teams looking to bounce back from disappointing losses in week 1. Both of those losses being very, very close 2-1 matches that could have gone either way. Fortunately for the Politoads, it doesn't seem to be getting easier. They do not have an obvious answer to Spam. Ogerpon shuts down both the Dondozo and Beat Up Ape strategies, but how does Coach Chris plan to deal with Ndidi Armarouge? Louise, how will they handle that Ogerpon? Do they even bother? Or the Barraskewda that can't be redirected and can hit Armarouge for super effective damage? In the end, as expected, Spam went absolutely nuts, with Ndidi plus Armarouge being the only two Pokemon that saw action for the Appletons, and Expanding Force getting all 8 kills. Blazing Brelooms versus Ohio City Dogis. Battle of the Rain. Politoad versus Pelipper. Or so you'd think. Actually, if I'm Twimbley, I'm not bringing rain to this matchup. That Oranguru plus Blood Moon combo looks incredible into the Brelooms. Prankster Taunt from Volbeat could be problematic, but if you get rid of that and there's no Taunt anywhere else in the team, you can just sit there and spam Instruct Hyper Voice with very, very little counter. The Brelooms, Basculegion and Rillaboom look great into the majority of their opponents. Rillaboom is a great counter to all of the big hitters except Shenpao. And Adaptability Basculegion absolutely decimate that Blood Moon Oranguru core with massive super effective damage. Okay, game 1, and we can see that Starstreak did in fact bring Rillaboom and Basculegion, and Twim didn't bring Rain. Ronin is a fucking genius. We also see the Volbeat hopefully running Taunt to try and shut down that Hyper Voice spam. And I wonder if that Overquill is running Swift Swim instead of Intimidate. That could be interesting. Other than that, I'd say a fairly standard look for both teams. On the Dogi side, it does look like they're leaning more towards Trick Room. They've got no real speed control, so either they're going to super bulk it out and just sit there and go, you cannot remove us, or they're going to let Starstreak get up his tailwind and then just Trick Room. Like I said before, you know what the Blazing Brelooms are going to do. You just have to stop them doing it. They're going to bring the rain, they're going to go fast, they're going to hit hard. So let's see if Hyper Voice spam wins again. What are the leads? As expected, Ursaluna Oranguru. Volbeat Rillaboom for the Brelooms. I'd go Fake Out into Taunt here, stop the Trick Room and then get Tailwind up later. You can't Fake Out the Oranguru. Good read with the Protect. Is it Mental Herb? I'm guessing it's Mental Herb. Yes, it's Mental Herb. There's the Trick Room. That's absolutely going to be Terror on Blood Moon. Paranormal. Paranormal. Here comes the Hyper Voice. Good call with the Taunt. That stops the Instruct. Doesn't stop the Weakness Policy Brick Break though. Blood Moon coming out into the Rillaboom. Yep, deleted. Now, the Volbeat is doing absolutely nothing here, so I'm swapping that out. Protect the Gothitelle, swap out the Volbeat. There's no reason for that slot to get attacked unless they're reading the switch. We're coming out for the Brelooms. Onto the Gothitelle. Terra Fighting. Terra Blast will do some significant damage to that Blood Moon Ursaluna, I'm pretty sure. Didn't swap the Volbeat. Hyper Voice is probably going to KO the Volbeat though. That almost KO'd the Gothitelle as well. Oh my god, that bear is so strong. Nowhere near enough special attack investment on that Gothitelle. I think that's last turn of Trick Room. Yep, if you see the double protect. Sidekick comes out into the Politoed slot. Reading the protect, he's used the Hyper Voice instead of the Blood Moon. And we shook off the taunt. Twisted Dimensions did not return to normal. We still have one more turn of Trick Room here. That kick comes out. Reasonable damage. Hyper Voice is going to KO the Gothitelle. And it KOs the Politoed. Changes for game 2. I would hope that Starstreak has Haze on his Politoed. If he has Haze on his Politoed, he should have brought it out sooner to haze away that weakness policy boost. Beyond that, with what he's brought, he's just got to stop Trick Room going up. If he can stop the Trick Room going up, it gives him a much easier chance of dealing with that bear. It's all going to be down dealing with that Trick Room, to either resetting the dimensions or stalling the Trick Room out. But he cannot leave Volbeat on the field for that long. It offers absolutely nothing after the taunt. Personally, I would have also put taunt on the Rillaboom, because you're going to read the fake out. But we've got Pop Rocks and Sour Patch this time. So Shenpao and Overquill. We see the Overquill does have Intimidate, not Swift Swim. But the same lead for the Blazing Brelooms. And coming out straight away for Swim again. This time, Terra Ghost on the Shenpao, stopping the fake out. But the fake out, quite rightly, went into the Overquill. Tailwind goes up. Are we going to see an Icicle Crash into the Rillaboom? No, it's an Ice Spinner into the Rillaboom, getting rid of the terrain. And one-shot the Rillaboom. You should be EVing your Rillaboom to take that. It is a Life Orb Shenpao. Terra Fairy Basket Legion. That does resist that Sucker Punch. Lunge into the Overquill is reducing its attack. Phantom Force, Skeledirge. There's a problem with Phantom Force. Swap in the normal type. That Phantom Force is now not going to do anything. Yep. Dunk Shot comes out and down goes Skeledirge. It is not looking good for the Blazing Brelooms. Lunge isn't going to do a great deal to Jellybean. The Pump almost gets the KO. It's a Swords Dance Overquill. And it gets instructed, so it now goes straight to +4. That is insane. Tailwind peters out. There's a confirmation on the haze on the Politoed. Where that was in game 1, I do not know. Trick Room comes out. Politoed protects, expecting to be the target. Oranguru does fire off a Psychic into the protect. And the crunch from Overquill also goes into the protect. So very, very good read by BreloomBoi. But the lunge just misses the KO on the Overquill. Overquill protects. Like it comes out, we know this doesn't do a huge amount. But a Hydro Pump doesn't either. That is a very bulky monkey. Or should I say ape? It is an orangutan. Orangutan is an ape, not a monkey. Protect on the Politoed. Correctly weaving in protects to stall out this Trick Room. Dunk Shot comes out, doesn't do much, but gets the poison. Lunge gets the first KO of the match for the Blazing Brelooms. Down goes that Menace Overquill. And Trick Room in his own Trick Room. You have to think that Power is going to come out here. Or maybe the Urshifu. Yep. There's Sour Patch. The return of the Shempao. Oh, that Sucker Punch did a huge amount of damage. But we do have the Citrus. It's not going to be able to take another one though. Hydro Pump just misses the KO. Slide Kick doesn't KO the Politoed. Is there a route back? I have to imagine the Sucker Punch is coming out. No, he's protecting. There's the protect on the Politoed. Now where's the Psychic going? Is it going into the Politoed? No, correctly reading the protect. It has gone into the Volbeat. Picks up the KO. Now, one Sucker Punch should be all that's needed to wrap up 2-0 victory for the Dogis. Goes for the double protect, perhaps trying to stall out Sucker Punch. They do Sucker Punch, but we've got that sidekick. Oranguru finishes the job. The Ohio City Dogis keep marching on. That is a scary, scary team. Is anyone going to be able to stop Twim and the Dogis? Alaskan Articunos versus San Diego Skeledirge. This is a really tough matchup to predict. Neither team's week 1 match gave us much insight into the coaches' plans for their squads. On paper, the Articunos should have an advantage. They have the tools to prevent Trick Room and the speed to be able to have the advantage under Tailwind. The X factor though in this is Otter's experience, unpredictable team building. Sylveon could pose so many problems for the Articunos if it's positioned correctly. Getting it in and protecting it could seal the win for the Dirges. Due to technical issues with Coach Tommy's brain, we are joining this match in the middle somewhere-ish, I don't know, of game 1, number 1. And as you can see, we have a full HP Thunderous Incarnate, Gothorita, and a, I want to say 70% HP Bug Terror Heatran on the field. Lady Gaga, Queen of Pop, hits the field. Helping hand from Lady Gaga. Oh no! Tommy goes for fake out. Queenly Majesty prevents the fake out. Thunderous sets up the rain. Helping hand boosts the flamethrower, but thanks to the rain, Thunderous lives. Goopy protects. Wild Bolt Storm can't miss in the rain. Does some respectable damage too. That's Serena. And gets the Parrot. Tommy Hacks coming in clutch. Foul play into the Serena, brings it down below half. Power Whip comes out, finishes off Gothorita. Now we know that it is just Thunderous versus the world. Another helping hand flamethrower coming out, I would imagine, but not before the Wild Bolt Storm. Flamethrower finishes off Thunderous. Game 1 goes to San Diego Skeledirge. So let's have a quick look at the team preview to see what each coach brought. That's a mouthful. Okay, so we can see that the Alaskan Articunos, we have Baxcalibur, Rita, Iron Treads, Conkelda, Florges, and Thunderous, facing off against Hormot, Heatran, Clefable, Serena, Menace Sylveon, and Dusknoir. Really would like to have seen how the leads went down for game 1, because that's two very, very interesting team selections. The Articunos, Iron Treads is actually very, very good into pretty much everything on Skeledirge's side except that Serena. It's fast, it's bulky, you can make it deal pretty respectable damage if you EV it right and get that +1 attack from the booster energy. And with Florges you can do those crazy, I forget what the ability is called now, but the strats where you use up the booster energy on your Paradox Mon and then Florges activates its ability and hands over that life orb to the Paradoxmon. So I wonder if we're going to see a bit of that from Tommy in this game too. What are the leads? Loopy and Hansi. So Heatran and Dusknoir facing off against Gothorita and Baxcalibur. Protect on the Heatran, blocking the potential fake out. Could be a free Swords Dance for Baxcalibur here. Yeah, there's the Swords Dance. Curse Dusknoir. Wow, that's not something I've seen in a long time. I can't remember who I've seen use it in the past. I have seen it before. Terror coming out from the Articunos. Baxcalibur putting the candles on his head. Terrified Bax. Probably to... Oh, we've got a Terror coming out from the Skeledirge. It's going to be that Bug Terror again. Resist the potential ground move from Baxcalibur. Good read from Tommy. We get the Icicle Spear, which is now no longer resisted. Can we get the 5th? No, we don't get the 5th. But the read from Otter, Earth Power into the Baxcalibur, takes it out. And the Heatran dies to its own Life Orb chip. Imprison from the Gothorita, preventing any potential Trick Rooms, and Dusknoir was going for that Trick Room. Thunderous hits the field, so does Lady Gaga. Sludge Bomb from Thunderous does respectable damage. I'd have expected it to do a little bit more. Power Whip comes out. Doesn't KO the Gothorita, who replies with a foul play, taking out Lady Gaga. Noir puts a curse on Thunderous, almost KOing itself. Wobbles. Oh no, here comes the Sylveon. But we have seen the Sludge Bomb from Thunderous, so it can do some pretty good damage to this Sylveon. Sylveon can no longer remove its fairy typing. Sludge Bomb doesn't even do half. That's pretty incredible bulk on that Eevee. There's the Throat Spray. Foul Play comes out, finishes off Dusknoir. Dusknoir's curse doesn't quite KO the Thunderous. Will the Sludge Bomb Foul Play double up, finish off the Sylveon? Gets the poison from the Sludge Bomb. Tommy hacks. There's always Tommy hacks. Sylveon gets another 2 KOs with the Hyper Voice. But is finished off by the Thunderous' poisoning. Game 2 goes to the Articunos. This incredible match now goes to a Game 3. Now, the question is, what, if anything, needs to change for either coach? I do think Tommy needs to get the Gothorita off the field quicker. The trouble with that is, if it's not on the field, it's no longer imprisoning. The fake out imprison is great, but it doesn't do a great deal of damage. Bax did a really good job. If Otter hadn't made the read of the Terror, then Max would have survived and the Heatran would have taken itself out with the Life Orb chip. We see Polmot and Heatran this time, and Treads and Thunderous for the Articunos. Booster attack on the Treads, that's a good sign. Terra coming out from the Dirge. Once again, it's the Bug Terror on the Heatran. Staring down the ground type on the opposing side. It needs that Bug Terror to survive. Treads protects to prevent Fake Out. Fake Out goes into the Thunderous, but it's Covert Cloak, so the Rain Dance goes up. Flamethrower from the Heatran goes into the Protect. Terror from the Articunos, you have to believe this is on the Treads. Yep. There's the Ground Terror. Removing its fire weakness. Boosting its ground damage. Protect from the Heatran. Probably scouting out what... Ooh, close combat from the Polmot. That's a crazy amount of damage. Earthquake from the Treads. Heatran's protected. Doesn't affect Thunderous. It's Terrored, it's Stabbed, it's boosted, and it doesn't get the KO because of the Sash. While Bolt Storm can't miss, is going to pick up the Polmot. But the Polmot's Volt Absorb. Ooh, Heatran switches out. In comes Sailor Moon. In comes the Clefable. Heck from the Treads. Close combat goes into the Protect. Sludge Bomb should pick up, yes. Polmot is down. Comes the Sylveon. You have to think this is going to be an Earthquake Gunk Shot scenario. But which fairy is going to protect? Decisions, decisions, decisions. There's the Follow Me. Iron Head. Berry to reduce the steel damage. There's the spread damage. While Bolt Storm does not do enough. Sylveon Hyper Voice picks up the Iron Treads. Does ridiculous damage to the Thunderous. Throat Spray makes it even more insane. Attacked on the Sylveon. Reading the Fake Out. And Protect onto Sailor Moon. This could be a little problematic now. You have to think that one more Hyper Voice is going to pick up the Thunderous, so Follow Me could be enough to take out the big threat to that Sylveon. Oh, they've gone for a Helping Hand. Sludge Bomb, not enough. But gets the poison. Hyper Voice picks up the Thunderous, as we expected. but the foul play went into the Clefable. Poison damage might be enough to pick up the Sylveon next turn, but without Terra, I don't think Baxcalibur is going to be able to clean this up. Excalibur protects. There it goes to follow me. Up a voice. Is it going to be enough? Yes. Gothorita is down, but is the poison tick going to take out? No! It lives! Oh, so close! The Hyper Voice is now going to be a single target move, so you need that double protect, but he doesn't get it. He went with a Hyper Beam! Hyper Beam Sylveon to finish the match. Oh! Otter, you evil, evil man! But incredible 3-game set here. Very, very well played by Otter. Great play by Tommy as well. A few damage rolls more in his favour, and that could have quite easily been a 2-1 victory for the Articunos. New York Latios versus your Welsh Woobats. This, on paper, is a pretty one-sided match. The Woobats don't have an obvious answer to both Fluttermane and Ursaluna. To be honest, very few teams in this league do. Sableye Screens could be the answer, but Blaze Tauros can break them. Misty Terrain Gardevoir can stop the burn on Ursaluna, but then how do the Woobats get rid of Kilowattrel if TCL goes the Tailwind route? For TCL, Tomoe looks to be the big problem to deal with. It can wall out Fluttermane with Terra plus Bulletproof, and the Iron Defense Body Press set can get rid of Ursaluna if the bear doesn't Terra into a fighting resistance. Let's take a look at the lineups. As expected, TCL has got a scary team. And to make it worse, you don't know whether they're going to go Trick Room or whether they're going to go Tailwind, because he's brought both Kilowattrel and Slowking. The Woobats, kind of as you'd expect. Como is pretty good into the Latios, but it is a Terra Hog. Empoleon can hit Fluttermane and Ursaluna for super effective damage. Gardevoir, pretty good into the Trick Room matchup. It also gets Misty Terrain to stop Ursaluna getting its Gust boost. And Sableye is just bloody annoying. This could be a very, very interesting match. Game 1. We have Kilowattrel and Ursaluna. Oh, that's scary. That bear under Tailwind. Gardevoir and Sableye for the Woobats. Ursaluna switches out. Interesting. In comes Slowking. Sableye sets up the light screen. Kilowattrel fires off a Tailwind. There's that Misty Terrain. No more Guts Burn for the Ursaluna. Slowking protects. T-Bolt into Gardevoir. Doesn't do a great deal of damage. Now from Sableye is going to make it do even less. Except it's competitive. Gardevoir sets up Trick Room, taking back the speed control. Sableye switches out. In comes the Tusk. Booster. Attack. And the bird protects. Psychic into the protect. Bit of a waste there. And Slowking reverses the Trick Room. Gardevoir switches out. Into Sableye. Okay. Terra comes out from the Woobats into the Great Tusk. The elephant has got some balloons. Slash goes into that now. Ah, flinched. Skull goes into the Sableye, but it doesn't do a lot. King protects. Quash Sableye is so annoying. Ice Spinner is going to remove the terrain, but it does KO the Kilowatt Troll. Probably a bit of a mistake to switch out the Gardevoir if you're going to use Ice Spinner. Now we're going to get the arrival of a bear. And nothing can stop it getting its burn. Yep, there's Ursaluna. Sableye switches out without setting up the screen into Empoleon. Air Balloon Empoleon. Yep, there's the protect. Headlong rush into the Slowking. Does respectable damage considering it's a resisted hit. Skull does a surprising amount of damage now that light screen isn't up. Terra has to be for the Ursaluna. It is Terra flying. Very interesting when you have a Great Tusk on the field that's already revealed Ice Spinner. Long Rush takes out the Slowking. There is no more Trick Room. But you've got the weakened defenses. Water Pledge still does good damage. Terra Blast. Okay. Wasn't expecting Terra Blast. Here comes the Sableye. And we have a Flutter Mane. Speed Booster Flutter Mane. Ursaluna protects. Light screen goes up. Obviously reading the protect. Moonblast into the Sableye, but he's got a Roselli Berry. But it's not enough, because it's a Flutter Mane Moonblast crit through screen. Bye bye little demon. Flash Cannon into the Flutter Mane, reading the protect, but it doesn't quite get the KO. Guardy comes back out. Now, do you read the protect on the Flutter Mane? Guardy protects, so the Flutter Mane is not protecting. Psyshock into the Empoleon. Doesn't do a lot at all. Even with the crit. That pops the air balloon. Water Pledge. Doesn't get the KO. High horsepower. Finishes off the Empoleon. It's now Guardy versus the world. Moonblast. Crits again. Game 1 goes to the Latios. That was a lot closer than I think a lot of people were expecting. But for a flinch, maybe one of those crits, we might have seen a bit of an upset. Do we get the Komodo for game 2? Goodra and Kilowatt Troll for the Latios, and the same lead as game 1 for the Woobats. This time Gardevoir gets a competitive. Screen number 1 goes up. The Tailwind comes out from the Kilowatt Troll. Sludge Bomb Goodra. Psychic. Almost takes out the Kilowatt Troll. That's some impressive damage. Guardy protects. Screen number 2 goes up. Air Slash into the Sableye. Decent damage. Sludge Bomb into the Protect. Sableye switches out. It's Tusk time. We already know it's a booster attack. Air Slash into the Gardevoir this time. And the Sludge Bomb double up. Gardevoir hangs on with 2 HP. Takes out the Kilowatt Troll. Out comes Tauros. Gardevoir's competitive. It's Mirror Herb Tauros getting the boost on special attack. Tauros protects. He protects. Sludge Bomb into the Gardevoir protect. And where's the Tusk going? Ice Spinner. Almost KOs the Goodra. Does get a crit though. Tailwind peters out. Great Tusk protects. Raging Bolt comes out into the Gardevoir, smashing the screens, preventing the misty terrain going up. Dragon Tail Goodra. We do see the Komodo. Terra coming out from TCL. Into the Tauros. Terra Fairy. Oh no. This is going to be Terra Fairy, Terra Blast into the Dragon fighting Komodo. Komodo arrives, Komodo leaves. What a mistake. Ice Spinner finishes off the Goodra. And there's the Ursaluna. Terra comes out for the Woobats. Has to be that flying tusk again. Yep. The elephant got his balloons back. Reflect goes up. Terra Blast comes out into the tusk that now resists it. Ice Spinner. Okay. That didn't do a lot. High horsepower doesn't affect the Great Tusk. Burn, fortunately, now activated. The bear protects. It quashes the bull. But the close combat goes into the protect. This is a tense battle. There's a raging bull into the Sableye, smashes the screens, but the Sableye lives on. Reflect goes back up, but the raging bull comes out, KO in the Sableye, breaking the Reflect again. That's close combat. Is not enough to take out the Ursaluna. Defense drops. Not that they're needed. Facade comes out. KOs the Tusk. A very, very close battle between the Woobats and the Latios. Even if it does finish 2-0 to New York.
There you have it, folks. Week 2 is in the books. We have 2 teams yet to drop a game in the Ohio City Dogis and the New York Latios. The San Diego Skeledirge and the Piss also undefeated with crazy differential in +12 and +11 respectively. Looking ahead to week 3, the Dogis and the Latios face off in the ultimate battle for supremacy. Someone's O will go. Elsewhere, we have the frostiest clash in RDL history with the unbeaten Ice Shards taking on the floundering Articunos, and a potential RDL management revolt with BreloomBoi looking to rise up against Otter. So, like, subscribe, and come back next week to see how the league is shaping up prior to our mid-season break for the holidays. And stay tuned for more VGC Draft League content.